Hello, everybody. Can you confirm me if everything is okay? Can you confirm that audio and video are okay? Hello again. Can you confirm that you can hear me? Hello. Can you hear? Okay. So, well, we will wait. Okay. So I will start the presentation. Can you? One moment. Okay. So I think it's time to start the presentation. Well, good afternoon. Welcome everybody to the second day of the Ibero-American Chatbot and Conversational Artificial Intelligence Summit. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this event to bring to the research and academic and industry community around conversational artificial intelligence the opportunity to present and discuss many relevant and timely topics and projects. Second, on behalf of Lekta, it is a pleasure to be one of the sponsors of this summit. Well, my name is Jose Quesada. I am a professor at the Department of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence at the University of Seville in Spain, as well as a co-founder, CTO, and R&D director at the company Lekta. In my talk today, I will briefly describe to you the Lekta approach for conversational enterprise intelligent assistance, focusing mainly on several success cases, as well as the key points in our technological ecosystem and methodological framework. So what is Lekta? Well, as a result of some personal and industrial synergies, Lekta was established as a company in 2006, initially in Poland. Therefore, we started the business development in this country, and we are currently expanding our target market in Spain in particular and Ibero-America in general. This is why the motivation to be in this event. Así pues, aprovecho para enviar un saludo a toda la comunidad iberoamericana que está siguiendo este evento. En Lekta nos centramos fundamentalmente en el diseño de sistemas de inteligencia conversacional orientados al servicio de tu negocio. Para más información, aquí tenéis una dirección web donde podéis contactar con nosotros. Well, taking into account our origins, in Poland, as I mentioned, our main references were initially established in Eastern Europe, focusing on the different industrial sectors, big companies normally with big requirements for contact centers. So, as I mentioned, different industrial sectors such as telco companies, banking, the banking sector, insurance, health, logistics, energy, among others. Well, among the different projects that we have implemented during this period of time, I would like to highlight a relevant and impressive success case in the banking domain. Well, PKO is the biggest bank in Poland, with a leadership position in the mobile bank sector in this country. They challenged us with the goal of incorporating natural language and conversational interaction over their mobile bank app. The first version of the conversational system was launched in May 2020, just 1 year ago, covering the most common operational functions. We will see next a video with the press conference where this system was presented. The presentation included a live conversation with the app where the user could use different modalities of interaction, voice, text, some security strategies for confirmation. In the presentation, you will hear the user interacting with the conversational agent. The conversation is in Polish, as I mentioned, but we have doubled this conversation into Spanish, so it is easier to follow. And you will see all of the screen of the application.
Buenos días, Camille. ¿En qué puedo ayudarte?
Hola, ¿y tú quién eres exactamente?
Soy el asistente de voz de ICO. Entiendo la voz y puedo responder a tus peticiones o preguntas. ¿Sabes ya lo que puedo hacer? Pregúntame por tu saldo.
Vale. ¿Y cuánta pasta tengo?
En la cuenta PKO Conto ZA0 tienes 2.570,52 slotis. En la cuenta Conto Osternos Piove tienes 7.200,00 slotis.
Muéstrame mis gastos de más de 30 slotis de la última semana.
Estoy mostrando los gastos del 19 al 26 de mayo por una cantidad superior a 30 slotis.
Casi se me olvida. Haz el pago de 39 slotis por la televisión.
Confirma los datos. Transferencia desde la cuenta PKO Conta ZA0 a un destinatario definido. Operador de televisión. Título: pago por la televisión. Cantidad 39 slotis. ¿Está todo correcto?
Sí, está bien.
¿Confirmas la transferencia? Muy bien, se ha aceptado la transferencia para su ejecución.
Me gustaría también recargar mi teléfono de 30 slotis.
Confirma los datos. Recarga del teléfono desde la cuenta PKO Conto ZA0 a mi teléfono. Número de teléfono +480001111222. Operador, mi operador, cantidad 30 slotis. ¿Está todo correcto?
Sí, todo correcto.
¿Aceptas los términos de las recargas de teléfonos?
Acepto.
¿Confirmas la recarga del teléfono? Perfecto. Se ha aceptado la recarga para su ejecución.
Ahora dime, ¿cómo funciona Blick?
Blick es un sistema móvil de pagos y retiros de efectivo de cajeros automáticos, sin utilizar una tarjeta de pago. Simplemente muestre el llamado código y confirme el pago.
Entonces muéstrame el código.
Tu código Blick es 023669.
Por último, ¿dónde puedo configurar la vista previa del saldo antes de iniciar sesión en ICO?
Entiendo que quieres ir a la configuración de la aplicación ICO. ¿Te muestro la pantalla?
Sí, por favor. Gracias.
Ok.
Well, it is worth mentioning that during the first month, the conversational agent was delivered to more than 4 million users. And among other relevant benchmarks, I would like to highlight a news published by the bank itself indicating that just in the first 3 months, the users have made money transfer worth 1.2 million Polish zlotys. For me, it is quite relevant to mention this because making a money transfer requires a big, let's say, level of confidence in the user, and this somehow confirms the level of the level of quality that this conversational agent was able to implement. Well, just as an illustration of the impact and success of this project, I will show next a TV ad promoted by the PKO Bank using the conversational agent. As I mentioned, this is a TV ad generated for the public TV in Poland. We have subtitled the short video just to give you the possibility to understand the conversation, but it is quite interesting. The video is now available at YouTube. Well, as a conclusion, perhaps this is quite interesting to show how these new technologies around conversational interaction is going to impact the current future, the current present in the communication with users. The project was, as I mentioned, the first version of the project was launched in May 2020, taking into account the initial success of the project. We have continued working with the bank in incorporating additional functionality. The last release in April 2021, just a few weeks ago, includes many additional functionality. I think this is the fourth or fifth release of the project. And just to give you a global overview, it contains at this moment more than 250 intents, and it is also quite interesting to mention that at this moment the functionality of the system has focused on the incorporation of tooltips, not doing just functions but helping the user to do that. And also currently we are developing a cash withdrawal wide or personal finance management system. Well, in the second part of my talk, I will try to summarize some of the key points around the technological ecosystem developed at Lekta. And the first key point from my point of view that must be highlighted is conversational AI. Perhaps it could be considered as an obvious idea to mention this key point in a conference focused on conversational AI, but from my viewpoint, from my expertise, I still consider that achieving real, fluent, natural, flexible, and proactive interactions is a technical and research challenge. It is not easy to do that because language is very, very complex, natural language, I mean. Well, the second idea that I would like to mention as a key point around Lekta is our wide, let's say, range of approaches and fields of applications where we are using currently Lekta. Starting with voice-based application in contact centers, managing call steering, self-services, or transactional operation. In this case, I can just mention that in Orange, Poland, we are managing at this moment all the inbound calls to their contact center, which represent more than 70 to 80,000 calls every day. With Lekta, we can also implement web chat conversational agents, providing integrated and multimedia interfaces. We can, as I have shown in the example for the bank, it is possible to integrate Lekta with mobile apps as well as instant messaging application, creating powerful virtual assistant that can personalize the interactions with the end users. The proactive capabilities of Lekta can be used also in sales, for instance-oriented operations, managing complex dialogue interactions, and so on. Well, continuing with this summary of key points around Lekta, I would like to mention the technology and methodology. In Lekta, we have created our complete technological framework. We are manufacturers. We have created the technical infrastructure, the framework. And this framework is closely connected with a methodological approach for advanced conversational AI systems. Being manufacturers of our technology, we can deploy conversational agents both on cloud and on-premise, a feature that have been very relevant in our experience with this project that I have mentioned. And also regarding methodology, I would like to emphasize the key role of error detection and error recovery, because a conversation is not a simple phenomena. During the conversation, there can appear many, let's say, issues, and the it is quite important to start designing the dialogue model, taking into account the possibility of error. So error detection and recovery must play a crucial role. Additionally, well, in my experience during more than 20 years in the Department of Artificial Intelligence, I have taught and made research in many algorithms related with machine learning, reasoning, etc. I think that it is crucial to have a close integration between language and reasoning capabilities. This allows us to manipulate the data and different techniques for learning integrated in the whole framework. And also evaluation and testing. Evaluation is perhaps the most, let's say, usually sometimes it is ignored. I mean, evaluation and testing are like the last operation during the organization or of the project for a conversational agent. But from my point of view, evaluation and testing must be the first point that we have to take into account when designing the methodology for one application. In Lekta, we have our own integrated evaluation approach. And last but not least, money. I mean, in Lekta, we have a clear understanding of return of investment. I have mentioned in my presentation so far some very big projects, but I would like also to mention that Lekta is really unsuitable not only for these large projects, but also for medium and small companies. We have the adequate frameworks and platforms for those projects. In the last section of my talk, I would like to just give you a very brief, because there is no time for more, overview of the technological ecosystem, what I call the Lekta architecture. Well, the first point is that we have to take into account the crucial role that the users plays in the organization of the dialogue. I mean, the user interaction is fundamental in terms of adequation to multi-channel, multimodalities, and multilingual interaction. Just as an example, let's consider that we have this request.
I want to make a transfer for 100 euros to my wife, but first I would like to know what's my balance.
Well, in this case, we will, as we are receiving a voice-based input and acoustic signal, recognition to obtain the transcription of this input. Not always the transcription is perfect, so it is necessary to incorporate the natural language understanding components with capability for manipulating possible errors during the speech recognition phase. But in general, the natural language understanding phase will have to deal with different modalities of information. From my point of view, one of the key aspects of understanding is ambiguity. We as humans have a high-level control of ambiguity, but ambiguity is a very pervasive and complex phenomena. So our approach is how to use expectation to help the system to resolve these ambiguities. We also have implemented a hybrid approach for language understanding using simultaneously machine learning and parsing-based strategies that obtain finally advanced representation. With this approach, we are able to manipulate multi-intent phenomena like the example that we are using in this sequence of interactions. Well, as you can see, the idea is that the system, after the understanding phase, will obtain an abstract representation, a semantic representation of the preference from the user. The next component of Lekta, which is interesting, is called the sensor. Sensor is focused on the integration of different events, because the input to the dialogue is not just the information from the user, and accordingly, we can qualify Lekta as an event-driven integration framework. For this, we use an inspiration based on the speech act theory. Okay, the next component in the architecture is called Cogito. Cogito is the component that integrates language and reasoning, this capability of intelligence, and also it's able to obtain the connectivity with back office services, and also to manipulate concurrent conversational activities, going from multi-intent to multitask phase. Well, Cogito is equipped with different strategies for integration with external services, And the result of the cogito phase is organized as a set of dialogue ads that are sent to the locutio component, which is in charge of the conversational meta-organization. In this case, the locutio is in charge of the organization of expectation and the meta-organization of the answer. And finally, this information is sent to the natural language generation component in charge of some adaptation, like multilinguality, multi-channel, and so on, that in this case, for instance, can generate this answer to the user that in its case could be sent to the synthesizer.
Currently, your savings add up to 1,500 euros. The transaction has been set for 100 euros to your wife, account ending in 4,599. In case any information is mistaken, please say so, otherwise I need your approval for the operation to be made.
Well, this completes the whole architecture, where I would like just to mention the crucial role played by different functions that I didn't have time to explain with detail, like the dialogue activity component linked with the data analytics, integration with back office, business intelligence, and machine learning components that are in charge of the feedback integration of all the information. Well, this is this has completed my my talk. Just as a summary of it, I would like just to mention that Lekta is focused on providing conversational artificial intelligence oriented to business. So it's been a pleasure again. Thanks for your time in this event, and thanks again to the organizers. In case you have any question or idea, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.